right, listen up, guys. We got this new wrestler, Trick Williams. We're trying to separate him from his current partner, Carmelo Hayes, and we need a theme song that's really going to deliver and give him that push as a single star. What are we thinking? I brought in my boy to lay down a beat, and I'm just going to let you guys decide the rest. So why don't you drop that beat?
Yeah. What? Dre, you ready? Come on. Alright.
Check. Cut him undercover. Timeless. Ready for progress. Feeling like I'm just getting started. 2 shots back from my dearly departed. You are now dealing with a monster. Oh shit. Profits. Doc Dre, bitch, I'm a prophet. Black Wall Street, niggas know where the stock is.
Like a satanic cult, it's an old ritual slaughtering goats, bitch. It's fucking with the original flow, sick, and anybody can get it. COVID. Fucking with that, I don't roll shit that was so sharp I can slip my own fucking throat with it. Bitch, I got more chips than my shoulders, and I'm about as approachable as a roaches. Just so let us steer clear from it. Here comes a clear bomb for your eardrums. Lyricism in its most fearsome and fierce. We're pulling another tear like a tear ducts. Pop an echelon, your career sucking. It was sheer luck, like a fucking leprechaun with his beard cut. A Punisher, weapon drawn with a beer gut. He's slower than a Decepticon with his gear stuck. And like what? I serial killing your Kellogg's. I love checks and I hate tricks. And you're a fake bitch. I can spot you like you about to weight lift. Bitch, I'm better than cake mix. And I can't be whipped with cake beaters. You cunts must be out of your labius. And God is my alias. So if I don't have faith in me, then it basically makes me an atheist.
To the Rolex. I'm in reverse. Keep stealing. Wheeling dealing. Limousine right.
Bottles and bitches believe me back in business. The shit I be smoking entirely recommended. It's all of my niggas pushing the limit. My high got me over here in the front.
All right, it's a grimy.
Shenanigans. Now, today we don't have those shenanigans because let's be realistic. Tonight is what has been dubbed as the annual Tank Bowl, Dumpster Brawl, Garbage Game. Pick whichever you like. It's basically all a matter of who's basically going to have that number one pick in next year's UFL draft. That's the best way we can put it, but let's be realistic, folks. Let's keep it as much of a buck as we possibly can. Nobody's really thinking about today's game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Nobody's really thinking about today's game, and well, it's probably with good reason. In fact, it's probably got the best reasons in the world. But we did at least sit here and ourselves some fun. We did have ourselves some really good high octane games this week. Or the last week. We do have some crazy upcoming games coming up after tonight. Tonight may not mean much to you guys, but it does mean a lot to the two teams involved because, quite frankly, it's a big deal. It's a big deal to them because we've seen how well it has worked out. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, the Brahmas won this pick one lifetime ago, and then the following season, when the UFL came to pass, they ended up going to the UFL championship game last year. This year has a little bit more high octane, or better yet, high fructose corn syrup than we actually expected. The craziest part about today is that we don't know exactly how the rest of the schedule is going to pan out, but we do have some crazy cliff notes to sit here and actually get to on it. So let's go to last week's games. Now, it started out on a beautiful, glorious Friday night fights with the infamous DC Defenders getting back on that winning track, edging the San Antonio Brahmas. 32-24 was the final score in that game. We're actually pulling up right now the clip that includes the victory speech from these infamous DC Defenders. Bear in mind, this team already had their backs against the wall before the season even started, when their head coach was actually gone. Took a job back in the college ranks. Not gonna hate him for it. You go where opportunity leads you. That's what the beauty of the UFL has been, always will be. And I think that was a big damn deal for these guys. We are gonna go through all these ones here just to keep things as even keel and gangsta as we can. And I'm gonna also have the victory speeches so that everybody can sit here and have fun with that as well. We are going to do what we can to help out everybody involved. And here's to hoping that maybe, just maybe, we get a little something out of it ourselves. We also have the biggest one. While we're getting this pulled up, we will go to that Defenders brawl stat line, which actually worked out pretty well, depending on who you were actually asking about. Depending on who you ask, that worked out pretty damn well for the right people. The Defenders managing a very, very, very monumental fourth quarter and defeating the Brahmas 32-24 on a very productive fourth quarter stance, courtesies of those infamous Brahmas. And let's be realistic. This was probably like the game everybody probably saw coming. But we all know how this basically turns out. We all know how this goes. We all know how this basically rolls. It still was fun, though. So before we even sit here and get started, I'm kind of in a mood. I'm in a mood for something. So let's go. We usually start out with big time victory speeches, but I think today we're going to start out a little bit different. Today we're going to start out with the top plays from Week 7, and ironically enough, we go to the land that actually sat here and gave us a little whoop that trick. We go to Memphis.
The 1980s, on second down, Duggan wants to throw it, and he does, delivers the goods, and they are grabbed. Pearson came back a little bit for the touchdown. And from 13 yards out, here comes Max Duggan.
For Pearson, you're going to get a couple of short routes from these two outside receivers, and then Ja'Cour Pearson just right over the top of them. Gets one-on-one coverage, end up switching off.
The try for the win for Michigan. Tawa driving to the end zone. Michigan wins it. An improbable comeback for the Michigan Panthers, who take it 25-24, ripping victory away for the Arlington Renegades.
And Tawa.
I know I sat here and said it was a crazy last-minute win for that one, but damn, that was gangsta. Okay, Michigan, we see you.
Toa would not be denied. Great block on that left side by Cole Hicatini, the tight end number 80. He seals this
left side right there, and Ta'atoa then has a lane, and he gets it into the end zone. They convert for one. They had 3 third-down conversions on the drive. Perkins was outstanding all day long. Mike Nolan saved the second with the timeout on the Perkins scramble.
Ready? To go.
Tom has time. Over the middle, got a man wide open. Powell, touchdown, defenders.
A switch route here, so you got one guy going outside and then one guy going inside, and the defense gets a little bit turned around because of that.
Number 56.
And there's a bit of a clear out right there, and a beautiful job by Powell running that right, getting separation. You see that outside move, and then he goes inside. I think the defense was caught in between. Was that man or was that zone? Some confusion.
Ready? To go.
We bring in the extra lineman. Oh, what a fake, and they throw it to a lineman who one-hands it for the touchdown. Gunnar Britton. And the big man may have put it away.
Huge moment to go for it. There's the eligible offensive lineman that comes in the game, and it's just a blown coverage. You can see why. You wouldn't think that he's going out, and then he tips it to himself, and a little bobble as he goes down, but he's able to hold on to it for the big man touchdown.
There you go, thick boys, rise up!
Oh man, I tell you what, I mean that's a terrific play call. You've got to be committed to the run, which San Antonio clearly is. And even as a defensive back, you're Jalen Elliott, number 25. You see big Gunnar Britton come out. You know, you're not thinking to yourself like eligible receiver. You're thinking to yourself like, you know, I hope he doesn't knock my head off. And then he slides by. It's a nice little ball from Jordan Ta'amu, and then you got the celebration.
He's got some hops.
Trying to give the old Tecmo Bowl celebration. Didn't quite get all the way up.
Issues and technical issues hurt you on that first drive.
No, it's one of those deals where sometimes there's a delay, you know, so you're sitting there, coach is talking. Oh, no.
Look at Zay White.
Coach is talking. And
he is gone.
You just got to communicate, hey, I can't hear you, and then we can get
52-yard touchdown. Watch all the misdirection. Watch these backside linebackers going to pull. It's going to take this line.
One would think that you should not do a player's interview when either your team has the ball or doesn't have the ball, because something may end up happening. Clearly, Birmingham has yet to figure that part out, but we'll get to them later on as well.
Linebacker over the top, and that's where White is going to replace. Really good. Look at all the guys moving in opposite directions there. Confuse the second level for Birmingham.
Coming up on the 2-minute warning. Arlington looking for the lead late. Perez, sideline. Canella, little stiff arm. Canella diving, touchdown.
Receivers be able to get away from the Michigan secondary and create some yards after the catch. And here's Sal Canella, leading tight end in the UFL. And again, a good move, strong at the point of attack against Arnold Tarpley. He's able to get a stiff arm out and get himself into the end zone. Tell you what, I was almost thinking about. Right?
Love it. Right out, love it.
There we go. Correct, sir.
Oh, no.
Corbin.
Oh, God. Oh, damn.
Does he have the speed? He does. Takes it all the way, and that's one way to answer. Jay-Sean Corbin, 57 yards, and San Antonio scores.
The middle linebacker, he's responsible for this gap right here, just to the right side of the left guard. And watch as the left guard goes up, he's able to seal him over to the left side. That produces the hole right down the middle of the defense. When you hear someone say gap responsibility or being gap sound, that's what they're talking about. He's responsible for that area of the field.
Omaha. Right there.
Cook is on third down. Drives the ball.
Oh, that's a pick six. Oh, that's a pick six.
On the return. Cuts back, and it's a pick six.
Oh, my God.
Oh, it's just a really bad decision by Case Cookus. Originally wanted to go to the right, comes back to the left, trying to throw, I'm not sure, 2 guys in one spot, but Arnett was all over the stop route on the outside to Marlon Williams. That ball has got to be 3 rows deep in the stands. That tight of coverage, 2 guys in one spot, that cannot happen.
Ready, to go.
Up top. Beautiful pass and catch. Braylon Sanders down the sideline. And once again, a touchdown pass from Ta'amu extends the lead for DC.
What a route on the outside. You just got man-to-man coverage.
Does Braylon not know that literally they hate Cena in Texas? Yeah. Well, then again, they also hate their own Cowboys, but I digress.
Coverage right here with Bo Pete Keys, and he just runs right by him. And Keys has been hobbled a little bit. And look, he grabs his left leg right there as Sanders runs it in for a touchdown. I tell you, what a ball from Jordan Ta'amu. Look at that ball. That is thrown perfectly. Outside shoulder. Great route. That's exactly what we expected to see out of DC here tonight. Throwing the ball down the field, being aggressive.
Wait, all these plays have been good, but I feel like that one should have been number 1. So number 1 better have been a damn good play. Okay, let's find out.
With their MVP candidate, Jordan Ta'amu, who is having a night. Now 229 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Down inside 10. And Hogan loses the football. DC recovers. Will this be a scoop and score? Anthony Hines. And disaster to end the first half for San Antonio.
Mistake. They mismanaged the clock. Hogan mismanages the snap and the pocket. It comes loose. Now Pardee has the challenge flag ready. It went off of his own player. A la Mark Sanchez. Sorry, Sanchez. It just happened. It just came out. I don't know what to tell you. And then here we go. It's a touchdown going the other way. Unbelievable. If they were going to take that amount of time, they should have just waited and called timeout and kicked the field goal. And then exactly what I said you could not do, which is...
Oh, God. Are you kidding me right now? Are you kidding me right now? This what they doing? This what they doing? Okay. Does that still now you saw that number 1 play, and obviously a lot of people are gonna be looking at that one as the most womp moments of the entire week, which obviously the UFL even thought so as well. But my question though, is that womp the most womp of the week? Kind of feels like it in a way. In a way, it feels like it. So, now we got everything back to an even keel where we wanted to go. We do have it. 32-24. Defenders with that victory over the Brahmas. Ta'amu finishes up with 278 yards. Jackson, 19-24, 278 yards with 3 touchdowns. Jackson with 10 attempts, 45 yards and a touchdown. And Sanders, Braylon Sanders, that 1 catch, 76 yards and a touchdown. He was the leading score. Was the leading receiver on that team. For the Brahmas, Hogan showed some promise. 20 of 31, 230 yards, 2 touchdowns. We're not even going to mention, what we just saw, which is running into his, oh, God, that was Mark Sanchez-esque. Not completely. Sorry, Mark, but your butt fumble still qualifies as the most bonehead move by a quarterback in NFL history, and that says a lot. Corbin finishes up with 109 yards on 9 carries and a touchdown. Pretty impressive for that one, if you ask me. And Kirkland finishes up as the leader of the Brahmas with 7 catches, 52 yards and a touchdown. The Brahmas had themselves a very good, happy moment in the locker room following their victory. So let's see what their coach had to say.
But always fun, man. No regrets, right? No regrets. Hey, that's another round in the state of Texas. Another round in the state of Texas, man. Way to have some grit. Way to have some resiliency. Way to come out and finish the game, man. Hey, they're not going to always be pretty. They're not going to always be pretty. But when you win, they're gorgeous. Hey, they're gorgeous, man. So way to come out, man, and stay within the fight. All right? Nobody panic. We kept saying we're good, right? That's all we got to do, man. Don't panic. Just keep being good. I promise you, great things will happen if you just stay with each other, stay together, and play together. You got me?
He's not lying. And that's pretty much what it looks like with DC. DC right now was the front runner to win the XFL championship when these were still two different leagues. So DC is starting to look like who they used to be. The big win over Arlington last week. The big victory last weekend against San Antonio. You'll see how much this plays out into going forward, because they still have at least one more big dog to sit here and that's all points in it, but Roman's already made it clear that the big dog don't exist. There's one more big dog, one more OTC to say the least, that still they have to contend with to make themselves the undisputed OTC. I hate you so much right now, Paul Heyman. I hate you so much right now. I'm sorry, Heyman Hustle. You my dude, but damn, it just flew right out. They still have to play a very game St. Louis team that's looking hungry, is looking angry, probably the hottest team in the league up to this point. But we will get to them. We will get to them. I promise you that. Believe that. It is going to be fun. To probably our closest nail biter. And I say closest in the best, most respectful, most insane way you can think of. 25-24. Michigan wins it on a 1-point conversion, following a touchdown right at the end. And they get that chance for that 1-point play, and they don't hesitate. And they took advantage of it with a big win, 25-24. The Renegades, who pretty much were right up here, are starting to slump all the way down to the bottom there. And we will bring up some stats for that one as well. Now, Bryce Perkins doing exactly what we expected Bryce Perkins to do. Saw him a lot in the NFL. He's definitely getting his footing down, definitely earning his ground. A leader in two categories when it comes to the Panthers. 15-28 for 231 yards and 1 touchdown. And then 8 carries for 60 yards and a touchdown. So he had a touchdown through the air and on the ground, to say the least. The Panthers are doing what exactly what happened to them a few weeks ago. Losing that game in Birmingham has angered the Panthers. And now Michigan is looking at this as an opportunity to be able to keep going and keep fighting and keep pushing the envelope, which is exactly what I expect them to do. Mariner was the leading receiver for the Panthers, 86 yards on 5 catches, but no touchdowns. Not that big of a deal. They still won that game when it mattered the most. And I'm sorry, but with this sat here and messed up on air. Here's what got it the most. Here's how very good the Renegades are, even in a loss. Luis Perez, 25 of 34 for 314 yards and 2 touchdowns. Even in a loss, Luis Perez still got that swagger on about 250, 350. That's how good that was. Hunter pitches up the leader on the ground with 18 carries for 35 yards. Vaughns had himself a holiday, as always. 127 yards on 9 catches and a touchdown. Panthers improved to 5-2. Keep that stranglehold on that number 1 spot. Don't let Birmingham get a little bit, too relaxed. But they got some big concerns. This game's gonna be good. DC versus Michigan. I look forward to that game. That game's gonna be good. Good. Arlington tragically falls to 3-4. They pretty much need a lot of help to stay in the playoff race. They're not eliminated completely yet, but they need a lot of help to keep themselves at the top of the food chain. Speaking of affirmation Panthers, their coach also had something to say after that victory. So let's go to him.
Hey guys, listen. Hey, awesome victory, guys, for the simple reason we stuck it out the entire time to the very end, made a lot of big plays, all right? Great job, all right? Excellent win. Listen, they talk about resiliency now. That's resiliency, all right? That's sticking it to the end. Great job. A lot can be learned from that game. We all know that. We did not, in case you were wondering, play our best game, but a lot of credit to them now. They played their ass off trying to beat you, all right? And they knew they had to do their best game to do it. Everybody hear me on that? They knew they had to do the best game. What do you think the next opponent's going to think? The same damn thing. Got me? So let's make sure we're better prepared. All right? We don't need to go through that. All right? We don't need to go through that. Although I'll take it. If that's what it is. That's what I'll take it. All right?
You can't lie. That was probably one of the best games of the week. In fact, that in my eyes was the game, the highlight game, the top game of week 7. So I am completely good with that. I am fine with that. Just keep grinding, keep going. This Panthers team is on a different level, and they really are trying to make it to the point where it is going to be Michigan versus everybody again. And don't worry, I have that shirt just in the wrong kind of colors, not in Panthers colors, but I'm working on it. Which brings us to another big highlight game. The Birmingham Stallions edge out the Houston Roughnecks 33-25. And when I say this was edge, this was hella edge. For the Victoria Stallions, Case Cookus didn't get cooked as much, but obviously that BS pick six that he threw, it kind of starts making me wonder just how tough the Stallions really are. But Cookus finishes up 17-34, 199 yards, and gets a touchdown out of it. So I'm not going to get too mad at him for it. Although he might want to better those numbers up, considering who's basically right there at review mirror ready to take them out. And we'll get to them momentarily. Person finishes up with 61 yards on 13 carries and a touchdown. Sternberger finishes up with 74 yards on 4 catches and a touchdown for the Victoria Stallions. For the Roughnecks, they should not hang their heads in shame. They had a nasty, good kind of day in my eyes. This is probably one of the best games I've seen the Roughnecks play this season. McClendon finishes up 15-23 with 167 yards and a touchdown. White gets 9 carries for 69 yards and a pair of touchdowns. Keys, 4 catches for 65 yards. Not the best performance, but considering the fact that the Stallions are supposed to be the so-called most dominant team in this league, at least according to everybody that's down there down in Alabama, I can tell you this right now. There's a reason why you guys are famous, and it's not because of the Tide. It's because of Forrest Gump, if nothing else. I'm just putting that out there. But obviously, Stallions in that game at 5, which going to this week at 5-2. Roughnecks at 3-4. When I say there's a lot on the line, there really is a lot on the line when it comes to this moment right here. It comes to this games, comes to the next set of games. We have about 3 weeks left in the regular season, and we still have yet to have anybody punch their ticket. But we do have 4 good ones literally going for it. Let's hear what the Stallions, what the Stallions coach had to say after that big win they had last week.
Little shaky early, but one hell of a way to finish. That's the way to finish a football game. We said at halftime we needed stops. And boy, did you show up with stops. Great job defensively. Great job. Offensively, it wasn't the prettiest thing. But you know what? We got it done. We found a way, and that's the most important thing. Found a way, went down, took the lead. Just proud of so many guys that are stepping up. We are so blessed to play the game. Told you before, nobody's here for by accident. We're all here for a reason. I love you, and I appreciate you. I'm proud to work with you. Great job today finding a way to get this done. Great job.
I'm not going to be jumping on the Skip Holtz bandwagon. I didn't jump on it last year after, what happened in the XFL Conference Championship game. I'm not going to jump into it now, so I'm not going to sit here and give that kind of leeway to it. However, I do have to admit, when you want gritty, you want tough as nails, you want hard work, look no further than what these guys in the UFL are doing. And this is not just basically Birmingham. This is Michigan. This is St. Louis. This is DC, Houston, Memphis. Yes, I'm putting Memphis in that category. Arlington, San Antonio. All 8 teams have been doing exactly what they need to do to basically keep people entertained, to help these guys take it up to that next level. To that next level known as the NFL. Because that's where pretty much that road goes. They all remember the infamous Jake Bates story. They all remember what he did did last year, putting the UFL on the map, making them a actual, seriously legit spring league. Now, people may not be wanting to embrace the spring league yet, but if you saw what we saw, you'd be all about that spring league. Just putting that out there. Which brings us to our finale of Week 7, which was my boys, the Bellhawks, going into Memphis. Hopefully not basically getting whooped like a trick, but instead of doing the whooping themselves. Wasn't the prettiest, wasn't the most dominant, but as Dom Toretto has said once, no matter whether it's an inch or a mile, winning is winning. And in this one, there's obviously was some things that hasn't been worked out there. But in fairness, Bellhawks walk out of Memphis with a big 19-9 win over the Showboats. Wasn't the best performance by them, but this is where you find out just how good your defense really is when they actually can go in there and they can do what they do best. Duggan finishing up 158 yards, 15 of 23 passing with a touchdown. Leading rusher. This is how bad it was. Leading rusher. 10 carries, 57 yards, and a touchdown. Jennings just shining bright like a diamond. 3 catches for 61 yards. For Memphis, win 21 of 34, 196 yards passing and a touchdown. Prince, 44 yards on 17 carries. And Adams, 69 yards on 4 catches and a touchdown to go with it. As I've said before, wasn't the cleanest, wasn't the smoothest, but iron sharpens iron the last time I checked. And that's exactly what it comes down to when it comes to making that final push, that big stretch, when you know for a fact that you got to basically put it all out there. And that's, I feel like, would be exactly what a coach would say to their team after that big victory.
Amen. All right, hey, great job, man. Great win, 5-2, baby. Yeah!
I love being a winner.
Hey, it's amazing to me, okay? Everybody wants sexy, everybody wants blowouts, man. We want finish. I want games finished, and that's what we did, man. Give yourself a hand for that. The best part about this victory, guys, is we can clean up so much and be so much better. Please accept that in your heart this week. We got a huge matchup. You got a huge matchup because you put yourself in position for it, right? All right? That's all you can ask for. Now you got what you want. All right? You got to have a great week of practice. You guys are off tomorrow. Get your mind right and enjoy this victory, baby. Let's go. Break it down. Let's go.
As I said before, gritty. That's the main point. This is probably like when I say the UFL is blue collar football, that's what I mean by blue collar football. Yes, the fans pretty much are probably at the point where the fans are probably not going to be going as crazy as the NFL fans are. And maybe that's a blessing considering the fact that, well, if I'm understanding this correctly, NFL fans kind of have this thing where if you don't walk out in a pair of handcuffs out of certain football games, you obviously weren't a real football fan. At least that's in their eyes. So we get to the big one. So we get to the fun. We get to the nitty-gritty. We get to the moments where we get to actually break this down for you, show you how big this is for these guys right now going into the final few weeks. That being said, we're going to start with the USFL conference because that's pretty much how we do. So, coming right out of the gate, it is official. The Memphis Showboats have been eliminated from playoff contention. They are at 1-6. As I said, these things crazily happen. But as you can see, none of the top 3 have clinched a playoff spot. Birmingham still sits atop of that at 5-2 in a tie with the Michigan Panthers at Panthers of the same numbers. Houston, 3-4, still has an outside shot for a chance at the USFL Conference Championship game. So they are not out of the woods yet. They're not even eliminated yet. That's how crazy that is. But we get a little bit better. Then we get to the XFL Conference. Now, as you can tell right from the top, DC will most likely be hosting the the XFL Conference Championship game just because of the fact that their strength of schedule is the same as the team that's tied up with them for that top spot at 5-2, the St. Louis Battlehawks. But their strength of victory is what's going to set them apart. Sets them apart on top of basically, conference percentages, just their wins in the conference. Now, St. Louis has proven they can basically win at home and on the road. DC has done the same. DC seems to play better on the road than they do at home, it looks like. St. Louis seems to play better at home than on the road. And even at that very juncture, you still have some fun. Tragically, the reigning, defending, heavily disputed XFL champion San Antonio Brahmas were eliminated with that loss last Friday night. They're officially out of playoff contention as well. But the Arlington Renegades, same boat as the Houston Roughnecks, not out of the playoff picture yet. But that kind of brings us up to how big this weekend is going to be. And I say this as bluntly as I can. And I'm going to see if I can try to bring this up here because I know that these guys do a little some. Let me see what I've got. Now, as many have pretty much already sat here and told on it, we do have ourselves the power rankings. We show up our power rankings every single chance we get. And this one will be no different. No different at all. We're going to sit here and bring up the UFL's power rankings as well as ours, as you see right there on that ticker at the bottom. We do bring those up. But this is the first time we've actually brought up the ticker in every sense of the word. So according to basically our boy RJ Young, who basically has been very busy having to play musical chairs with this entire scenario, heading into week 7. Or heading into week 7, this is what he was pretty much looking like. As San Antonio, Memphis, both at the bottom, 8 and 7 respectively. Yeah, Houston at 6, Birmingham at 5, DC at 4, Arlington at 3, and St. Louis at 2, and Michigan at 1. I can almost guarantee you that Michigan and St. Louis are probably the only two teams who have not changed, because the way Michigan won theirs this weekend, I have to give them props and give them credit where credit's due, because it was exactly what we expected it to be. Which actually brings us up to having a little chat with a pair of huge underdog stories. We're going to start out with St. Louis Battlehawks quarterback Max Duggan, and we're also going to continue on with Arlington Renegades outside linebacker Will Clark, as they basically tell you some stories that basically maybe you guys didn't like know about. Yes, we are still all about the fun. We're still all about this one. So, hey, Matt, step up to the plate. Tell us a little bit about you.
There's been a lot of aspects in my life that have happened. My sophomore year of college, found out that I had a heart condition that I had since birth, went through a 9-hour heart surgery for it. And, at that time you might think that your football career might be over. And I think just fighting through that, there's tough things that happen in life. I'm surrounded by a lot of great people that believe in me and help me get through that. Max Duggan, played quarterback from Council Bluffs, Iowa for the St. Louis Battlehawks. Grew up in Council Bluffs, Iowa with my mom and dad and my older brother and sister. My dad was a high school football coach in the state of Iowa for 35 years. He played quarterback in college. My mom ran track in college. So from a young age, I was always around ball. I was always around football at his teams and locker rooms and practices, things of that sort, and just fell in love with it. It was something that I love being around the guys, love, the sport, everything that it entails of bringing guys in from all different areas. So just fell in love with that aspect. Yeah, when I really started thinking seriously about football was sometime early in high school, maybe sophomore year. You get a few college offers and, think that, that there's a real chance for you to go play college football. I go to TCU and play there for 4 years. I love TCU, the football program, the university, the town of Fort Worth. And there was a lot of ups and downs in my career over 4 years of, getting benched, losing games, going to the national championship, getting an opportunity to go play professionally, and selected in the 7th round by the Chargers. And it was a great feeling. I think just focus on the journey and the process. I think don't get too bent out of shape on the future or the past. I think be present, be where your 2 feet are, enjoy the process and the journey. So when it's over, that's what the dream is. I think the UFL does a great job of just giving people the opportunity to develop and continue to play the game that they love. I'm extremely grateful for this league and to be here. I'm excited to be a part of this league, and I know a lot of other guys are. There's a lot of talented players and coaches that are part of this league, and hopefully it continues on moving forward and gets better and better. But extremely grateful to be part of this league and just keep on developing.
Football is a big mental game, as you probably heard from the neck up. You got to study and know what's happening in front of you, behind you, to your left and to your right. And also, too, you got to study your opponent. Will Clark, I'm from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. I'm 33 years old and I play for the Arlington Renegades. Grew up Pittsburgh, small neighborhood of Wilkinsburg. Myself, my sister, and my mom and dad. Grew up playing all the neighborhood fun games, hide and seek, touch football, all that good stuff. High school, I went to a school called Alderdice High School. Went to Alderdice High School, and then from there, went to a few camps, was blessed to get 3 scholarships, Pittsburgh, West Virginia, and University of Akron. I ended up choosing West Virginia. It was a point in time where I didn't know if I actually would go to the NFL because, mixing school with football is not the easiest thing. And then just kept going and kept working hard. And I was blessed to be drafted in the 3rd round to Cincinnati, to the Bengals. I always said I didn't want to have a draft party because my biggest fear was throwing this big party, not getting drafted. So I didn't want to have a draft party. Drive in from West Virginia, get to my mom and dad's house, see balloons outside, big banners, and to be honest, I was pissed. I had to calm myself down. A lot of my friends were like, man, it's a blessing, that you're getting to even celebrate this, because not a lot of people where I come from actually make it to college or even the NFL. So I'm just sitting there nervous with at the time my girlfriend but wife now. We're just sitting there next to each other, and then I get a call from a 513 number, and it said Cincinnati, Ohio, and I'm like, wait, what? Because I thought that Cincinnati, when I visited them, just being honest, I felt like they didn't really like me, like they weren't really fans of me when I went on my visit. And answered the phone, and it was Marvin Lewis, the head coach at the time, and asked me if I wanted to be a Bengal, and I was like, yes. I was just like, man, I couldn't believe it. I went to sleep, woke up the next day, and funny, I had to drive to Cincinnati the next day. I'm like, man, I can't believe I'm really driving to my job as an NFL player. Played with the Bengals for 3 years. And then after that, I went to Tampa Bay with the Buccaneers, played there for 2 years. And then after that, I played in the 2020 XFL. Played last year, did all right, and now I'm back for my 3rd year in the now UFL. Every day is really an interview. Even when you get hired, every day is an interview. Because you can come in, and if you don't produce, your coaches, general manager, front office, they're gonna say, hey, we gotta get somebody else in to replace you. And you can't get complacent. Complacency is the #1 killer of professional athletes. You are great before you become great. And once you believe that, you have to practice that. So it's not just thinking it and walking around and talking it. You have to, walk the walk as well.
He's not kidding. He's not kidding. You could be the best at anything that you do. You could be the best in the world at what you do. But if you basically get comfortable, not try to strive for something a little bigger, a little bigger, a little bigger every single time, it may come back and bite you in the ass. And that's exactly what he's pretty much here going with. It was rather interesting being able to sit here and see that most of these guys who, kind of put into the pile when it comes to when it actually comes to the NFL. And those 53-man rosters, they're big, they're huge. And people literally kill themselves to try to be on those 53-man rosters. And it gets to that point where you feel like your dreams are taken from you if you aren't getting drafted, if you aren't getting your ticket punched, if you aren't becoming that guy. Even if you become Mr. Irrelevant, you still have something to sit here and feel good about. At least in the eyes. In everybody's eyes, that's kind of pretty much what it honestly comes down to. But I thought I heard it all, but apparently I did not. So what you're about to hear is courtesies of Pizza Hut. Is what they call their hot mic moments. They have a lot of these. This is the first time we've actually sat here and shown these on the Aftermath. But I'm figuring my head, well, I'm trying something new, so let's give that a shot. Here you go.
Hot, 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 hot. I'm not God. I'm not God. Can't with me, man. Can't with me. Hot. You got that out. I knew you did.
Yep, there go that monkey wrench. Boom! Yes, sir! Boom, 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 boom. Hey, let go. Yeah! Yeah! Now everybody wants to listen to me.
Yes! 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 I love it. One. CJ! What has? CJ, I love it.
Way to catch that, baby.
Come here! Hey, right. Hey!
I'm sorry. What? What did he say? I don't know.
Hey!
Gotcha. See?
Stay on that motherfucking neck.
Hey, baby! Good job.
Good throw, bro. You are balling. Wow. Hey, we balling. Woo!
I cannot lie to you. I likes that. See, this is the way I keep trying to drill into people who basically say, the UFL is not the NFL. Of course not, because it's the spring. It's 10 weeks. It's 8 teams. It's literally teams that are trying to do their best to step the hell up, to show what they got, to show that they actually can be better than most people give them credit for. And I'm not going to lie to them. I cannot lie. This is probably the best moment to be a fan, because we remember last year when we had, it's like the common denominator here has been Birmingham, Michigan, and St. Louis. I mean, honestly, these 3 teams have been basically the top 3 teams in the league up to this point. Everybody's believing basically Birmingham's the best. They believe St. Louis is basically the uncrowned champion, because St. Louis has been in the thick of it their entire existence. This is not basically a spoiler, not a prediction. This is just facts. St. Louis has been that team that has been right there, just that close. They're tired of being just that close, and now they want to basically get over that mound. And I'm sorry, my hometown deserves a championship up to this point, considering the fact that it's been a while since we hoisted Lord Stanley's cup with the Blues. Since how it's been a hot minute since we've actually sat here and celebrated on that field with the World Series trophy. Since how we're probably not going to get a Super Bowl championship anytime soon, except for the one that we already got from a team that's already gone. Having a little UFL championship feels pretty damn good in my opinion. Birmingham obviously gets the first, but probably would have got that first if somebody had sat here and kept things interesting, kept things gangsta. And by that somebody, I mean the San Antonio Brahmas and of course those Seattle Sea Dragons, who I'm hoping will be back. Will be that team that gets their name pulled for next year. I look forward to watching the return of the Seattle Dragons. Drop the C thing for the love of Pete's, because it's just not. We know you guys are the Dragons. We know where Seattle is. Oh, at least I should know where Seattle is. We already know. You ain't gotta put the Sea Dragon in front of it. You might as well just call yourselves, the the Seattle Seamossers when you guys come back. But I like the Dragon colors better. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who probably agrees with that. So let's go into the nitty-gritty of it because we are getting close to that one. We're getting close to that time. We got to basically put our focus off of week 7 and put it on week 8 where it needs to be. Because, well, when I tell you it's coming. It's coming. And right now, at this very point, I am feeling damn good about about everything that's coming up here. So, how about we just take a look? We should put all those touchdowns that you saw. Let's put them all in one big bowl and see exactly what you got there. UFL brings us the touchdowns.
Jackson lowers his shoulder, gets in the end zone for the touchdown. Hogan stepping up, open in the end zone and caught. Alize Mack, touchdown Brahmas. Down inside 10. And Hogan loses the football. AC recovers. Will this be a scoop and score? Anthony Hines. And disaster to end the first half for San Antonio.
In the pocket, it comes loose. Now Party has the challenge flag ready. It went off of his own player, a la Mark Sanchez. Sorry, Sanchez, it just happened. It just came out. I don't know what to tell you. And then here we go. It's a touchdown going the other way.
Hogan has time. Finds a man in the end zone for the touchdown, Steven Stylianos. Tamu has time. Over the middle, got a man wide open. Powell, touchdown, defenders. 29 yards on the touchdown pass from Tamu to Cornell Powell. And DC has an opportunity to take the lead here. Up top. Beautiful pass and catch. Braylon Sanders down the sideline. And once again, a touchdown pass from Tamu.
Look at that ball. That is thrown perfectly out.
Now y'all see why I literally sit here and praise Jordan Tamu. And you know me. I'm going to be all about basically the guys who basically helped the Battlehawks become who they are. But Tamu was one of the OGs of the Battlehawks. He was when this team first came out, Tamu was that guy, and we respect the hell out of that guy. So I am going to give credit where credit's due. Tamu, keep doing your thing until you play us, and then we basically gotta beat that ass. But that comes later. Let's go to now.
Outside shoulder, great route. That's exactly what we expected to see out of DC here tonight. Throwing the ball down the field, being aggressive with their MVP candidate, Jordan Tamu.
You are correct, sir.
There we go.
Through a hole. Corbin. Does he have the speed? He does. Takes it all the way, and that's one way to answer.
When you hear someone say gap responsibility or being gap sound, that's what they're talking about. He's responsible for that area of the field.
We bring in the extra lineman. Oh, what a fake, and they throw it to a lineman who one-hands it for the touchdown.
Devin Ross in motion on first down. Here's Perkins. He'll pull it. He'll keep it. Perkins on the run. First down and more. Inside the 10. Breaking tackles. Ball batted out of his hand. Bounces right back into his arms for a Michigan touchdown.
Kev, was he in? Was he not? I mean, he obviously recovered the fumble. Watch, he steps away. This is the strength I was talking about. And then he's like, all right, I'm going to celebrate. Restrict his ability to catch the football, which I just don't think he did.
And on first down, terrific throw by Perez. Breaking free is Vaughns into the end zone. It's finally an Arlington touchdown. Pressure comes. Perkins throws, finds his man into the end zone. Malik Turner with a Panthers touchdown. Looking for the lead. Perez, sideline. Canella, little stiff arm. Canella diving, touchdown.
This is why I keep telling y'all. Luis Perez is a grown-ass man. That's proof right there. This kid has probably resurrected his career. We remember how he was when he was with Vegas. Not exactly the most enjoyable time, or the most fun time, or the most great time for him. But this right here is proof. When he got traded to Arlington, it's almost like he just got this breath of fresh air. This may be looking crazy, but look at those stat lines that are before us right there. 24 of 33, 304 yards, and a touchdown. And this is why I literally tell you, do not count out the Renegades because they may not be done yet. We still got 3 weeks left in the season, still plenty of time to basically bounce around, turn around. Hell, DC could fall. St. Louis could fall. Arlington can easily get themselves right back up. They're only literally 2 games out of that top spot. This is a team that was already looking at that top spot earlier in the year. A win over DC, a win over St. Louis. This could be a different kind of ball game altogether for Arlington.
And on 3rd and 1, Michigan looking for the tie to the goal line, stretches the ball out, Toa touchdown.
White straight ahead. Going for that goal line. True Vision chest cam moments ago, and now you see straight in CJ Marable.
No, it's one of those deals where sometimes there's a delay, so you're sitting there, coach is talking. Oh, no.
Look at Jay White.
Coach is talking, and
he is gone.
You just got to communicate, hey, I can hear you, and then we go.
And that's where White is going to replace. Really good. Look at all the guys moving in opposite directions there. Confuse the second level for Birmingham.
Now, I know most people don't pay attention to most of this stuff, but you saw White as he sat here. He kind of banged his head down as he crossed that goal line. That's a track and field kind of thing that we have done. When we're literally right there at that finish line, we kind of want to bow our heads so that way we had that little extra advantage. It's mental and it works. For all you runners out there, in case you're trying to wonder, if you basically know for a fact that you're going neck and neck at that finish line, you want to make sure you basically bang your head and don't metaphorically break your neck, but don't literally break your neck, metaphorically break your neck. But I'm just saying.
Cook is on 3rd down. Drives the ball, and that is intercepted by Arnett.
I will never get over seeing that big guy.
Cuts back, and it's a pick 6. And this is just a really bad decision by Case Cook. Is originally.
Look at this. Both receivers heavily covered right here in this little spot right about here. Both receivers heavily covered, and he still threw it there. You got a guy who at least has a step on his defender right here in the middle, but you choose to go to the outside. You choose to go to the outer receivers. You decide to go outside the numbers. Look at this. This is a guaranteed a pick because your guy loses a step. He lost a step on that one.
Want to go to the right, comes back to the left, trying to throw, I'm not sure. 2 guys in one spot, but Arnett was all over the stop route on the outside to Marlon. Can they deliver at the end of the drive? He goes underneath. Chisholm trying to work his way to the end.
See, that's the farm too. How did Birmingham win this game? It's like I get the grit of them. And they had to earn this one. They're going to have to earn their wins for pretty much the remainder of the season. Because I believe they still have a showdown with Michigan. They have a showdown with St. Louis. I know for a fact that people are starting to come to this realization. Houston should have won this game. I am very curious now.
Zone and does. Got to get it out. There it is. And he gets it. Chase Sternberger.
Ready, son.
Smith, sprint right. Can he find something? He does it himself. Script, 4th quarter that's been written for him to this. As Person takes it right in for a touchdown.
Won't happen. And Frank Darby was right there by the crossbar. This time it's Duggan across the goal line, plunging in. Dresser Wen, the former All-OVC quarterback at UT. Martin and a touchdown strike. Jonathan Adams rips it away. The 1980s. On second down, Duggan wants to throw it. Andy does, delivers the goods, and they are grabbed. Pearson came back a little bit.
You get a couple of short routes from these two outside receivers, and then Ja'Cory Pearson just right over the top of them. Gets one-on-one coverage. End up switching off.
I gotta tell you, it does not get any better than that. It does not get any better than that. I believe that the Tank Bowl is actually slated to actually get started. I'm actually wanting to see some playoff scenarios there right before we actually get ready to wrap it up there. So, but let's go into what we got going on for Week 8, which is probably, as I said, one of the most important games on the circuit. With this one happening right now at this very juncture, you have to sit here and look at this from this aspect. And when I say positive aspect, I mean legit positive aspect, because this is probably going to be a time when everything is going to go down. And just to keep things as gangster as possible, just a show of how everything is going to be actually legitimately possible. I've got a little something I got to say here to take care of here momentarily, but let's get back to this one. We're going to go to, we're actually going to go to the fun. As I said, Showboats and Brahmas will be playing tonight in the Tank Bowl. Winner of that one actually gets the number 1 pick in the draft per the rules. Love those rules. Gotta love those rules. And I'm trying to get to the playoff scenarios so that way we can at least get to that one, because I know a lot of people wanted to sit here and be able to know exactly what's going on and what's happening and everything in between. That's a little bit crazy, but okay, let's go with that. Here we go. As I have sat here and brought into the realization with everything that has happened, we have hellified playoff races coming up this weekend. Showboats and Brahmas is not one of them, but they are playing for that number one pick in the upcoming draft for next season. So that's going to be a big one. We also have, but we do have at least a couple of good ones. We have a good one to start out your Saturday. When I say good one, I mean a good one, because this is how big Saturday is going to be. This is how big Saturday is. Right here in all its glory. A potential UFL championship game preview as the Birmingham Stallions and the St. Louis Battlehawks will lock horns once again. Remember the last one they had. And this one, this is going to be very interesting, especially considering what the Stallions just did against Houston last week, and consider what the Battlehawks riding high, and they know for a fact that they have themselves a massive challenge in their hands. Beating the Stallions is practically like a rite of passage. It's like shaking Sinatra's hand, shaking Flair's hand, hell, shaking Cena's hand for that matter. This is how big this moment is. Is literally a rite of passage where you're basically here saying, we beat you, we're going to do it again if we see you in this one. A win for this one's going to be huge. Most likely the winner of this game is most likely guaranteed to be punching their ticket to the playoffs. And who knows, depending on the outcome of certain games that happen later on, this could pretty much, that loser could actually win this. Actually win this thing. Anything is actually legitimately possible. And right now, at this point, it is going to be huge. It is going to be big. It's going to be worth the price of admission. If you are in the St. Louis area, definitely go out, wave those UFL flags, wave them Battlehawk flags. Remind the Stallions that call is the law. But it's not going to be the last time, like the last time that the Stallions made it. Stallions were in St. Louis, where they practically shut out the Brahmas in that championship game. Then we got the Michigan Panthers and the Houston Roughnecks. As I said before, the Roughnecks are not out of the playoff race. They still have a shot. They have an outside shot to do it. But to get there, they've got to be able to contain Bryce Perkins, Toa Tawa, and that nasty Michigan offense that has been running on all cylinders. The last thing that actually been able to sit here and do that consistently was the aforementioned Battlehawks and even the aforementioned Stallions. I even throw a little bit in their direction. A win over the Roughnecks could move the Panthers one step closer to locking up that playoff spot. And also, depending on whatever happens in that earlier game between the or at least the game that basically is probably on some big screen somewhere in Houston, depending on what happens between Birmingham and St. Louis, this could actually be a big one for Michigan. A win here could probably put Michigan at that top spot in the USFL conference if they could get there and possibly potentially hope that the Battlehawks sit here and have enough of the tank to cook us and the Stallions and put Skip Holtz pretty much in the place he needs to be. This is going to be a huge one as well. Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon, or in my case, Sunday morning. The Arlington Renegades and the DC Defenders. The last time these two teams sat here and played up against each other, well, DC managed to sit here and get themselves a big win. They're looking to try and go for the sweep against those aforementioned Renegades. Now, here's the biggest thing here, right now. Jordan Ta'amu, Pizza Hut's Offensive Player of the Week, leads these Defenders into a shot at clinching it, not only clinching a playoff spot, but potentially clinching that home host advantage, that home field advantage when it comes to the XFL Conference Championship game. Because of the fact that depending on what happens in St. Louis on Saturday morning, this will be a game worth watching because it is the spotlight. That's why these mofos got the spotlight heading into this one. It is a big deal. It is a big game. It is a big fight feel when it comes down to it. A win for the Renegades keeps them in that conversation of the playoffs. A loss for the Defenders puts the Defenders in second, right behind St. Louis, because now St. Louis would have the top spot as long as St. Louis wins on Saturday. That's what it comes down to. That's how big this moment is going to be. So I am not going to knock it in any way, shape, or form whatsoever. I'm hyped. I'm pumped. I got to go ahead and get my Hawks on because I'm all about this madness right now. And to put it as nice as possible, it is definitely almost t-shirt time. It is almost t-shirt time. It is almost game time. It is all about that fun. We will be hitting their ways one more time tonight as we will be hitting the Smashing Show. That will happen. We'll go ahead and just make that about 6:30-ish, something like that. We'll have some fun with it. Give ourselves a little bit of time to recover, to breathe, and everything else because we have some pretty big games coming up here. And to put it as nice as possible, this is where the fun is. This is where the action is. This is where the anarchy begins. When I tell you these guys are trying to go out there and give you everything that you want, everything that you desire, I'm not kidding in any way, shape, or form. This was probably a good time to sit here and be a football fan. And who knows? We might be looking at some pretty big monumental action going on. And we go do our best to sit here and actually bring it all to you. So enjoy tonight's Tank Bowl between Memphis and San Antonio. Both teams officially eliminated from the playoffs as of now, so no need to sit here and go too ape nuts about it. Also, look forward to it. Panthers, Roughnecks, and Stallions and Battlehawks both will be starting around the same time, which should be about 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific over here on the West Coast. And then the Sunday Nighter that actually will be will actually be kicking up and kicking the high gear. The Sunday Nighter or Sunday Afternoon, you can go a little quickie, go get a quickie because we'll have a little afternoon delight of our own. The Renegades and the Defenders will be sitting here starting up as well. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to go and grab my gear because apparently I have to sit here and show my show my fandom to the United Football League just a little bit longer, just one more time tonight. I'll see you guys. We'll see you guys in about, give or take, hour or so. We'll be doing the Smashing Show. Kick back, relax, enjoy the ride, folks. This has been El Capitan, a.k.a. the Captain Ron, a.k.a. Capitan Ford. As we sit here, we still continue to pay homage. Tonight coming up on the Smashing Show, we'll actually be talking about, well, the man himself. Sharing some great Sabu moments. Also sitting here talking about basically the NFL schedule release. And we may break down some key games, because I see the schedules. There's some games that actually have my attention from other teams besides my own. So we'll see how that plays out. Either way, folks, thanks so much for sitting here joining. Have yourself some fun. Have yourselves a blessed Friday. Be safe out there if you are going to go out. Have some fun if you're not. But above all else, remember to keep it tight, mofos. This has been the old Captain. This voyage is over for now. We'll see you guys in a little over an hour.
All right, listen up, guys. We got this new wrestler, Trick Williams. We're trying to separate him from his current partner, Carmelo Hayes, and we need a theme song that's really going to deliver and give him that push as a single star. What are we thinking? I brought in my boy to lay down a beat, and I'm just going to let you guys decide the rest. So why don't you drop that beat?
Whoop that trick, get him, 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 whoop that trick.
Check. Cut him undercover. Timeless. Ready for progress. Feeling like I'm just getting started. 2 shots back from my dearly departed. You are now dealing with a monster. Oh shit. Profits. Doc Dre, bitch, I'm a prophet. Black Wall Street, niggas know where the stock is.
Like a satanic cult, it's an old ritual slaughtering goats, bitch. You're fucking with the original flow, sick, and anybody can get it. COVID. Fucking with that, I don't roll shit that was so sharp I can slip my own fucking throat with it. So bitch, I got more chips than my shoulders, and I'm about as approachable as a roach is. So let us steer clear from him. Here comes a clear bomb for your eardrums. Lyricism in its most fearsome and fears we're pull another tear like a tear ducts. Pop an echelon, your career sucking. It was sheer love, like a fucking leprechaun with his beard cut. A Punisher, weapon drawn with a beer gut. He's slower than a Decepticon with his gears stuck. Like what? I serial killing your Kellogg's. I love checks and I hate tricks. And you're a fake bitch. I can spot you like you, but to weight lift. Bitch, I'm better than cake mix. And I can't be whipped with egg beaters. You cunts must be out of your labius. And God is my alias. So if I don't have faith in me, ain't it basically makes me an atheist.